Have you been thinking of launching your own podcast, but not sure where to start? Well, we were in your same position when we started. That's when we found Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout makes podcasting easy. With Buzzsprout, you can launch a professional podcast in no time. In fact, Buzzsprout has already helped over 100,000 people get their podcast launched. With Buzzsprout, you'll get a great looking website, audio players to drop into other websites, detailed analytics to see how people are listening, and tools to promote your episodes, and much, much more. Plus, Buzzsprout publishes new blog posts, YouTube videos, and podcast episodes on a weekly basis to help you become a better podcaster. So if you're ready to start your own podcast, just click the link in the show notes and receive a $20 Amazon gift card for signing up. This lets Buzzsprout know that we sent you, and it also supports our show. Buzzsprout, the easiest way to start your podcast. Thanks.
Abstract. There's so many deal breakers, and deal breakers change throughout the years. Like, how many years are we in the game? Because I just had a conversation about this with my husband a while ago. Because we was like, because if we're 25 years in the game, I saw this on Black Love, and the chick was like, bro, if we 25, 30 years in the game, and like you cheat on me, like what kind of cheating was it? Because I mean, like I'm gonna uproot my whole family because you had like one slip up, like.
And here we go. You're listening to the Kings Can Move On podcast with your hosts, Jason Stewart and Frank Rain.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Kings Can Move On podcast. You have one half of your co-hosts right here, Frank the Tank, aka Big Reno, aka My Kid's Daddy, aka the damn fool tonight. What's up, Jay?
What up, big dog? It's your boy Lil J, aka Wood, aka Casey H-Town on Instagram. And listen, let me get this out right now. If you're following us, I need subscriptions. I need you to subscribe. Hit that button. I need you to follow. All that good shit. We need your support. We appreciate you. We really do. Now, back to the episode. So tonight, we have a special episode. We have some guests in the house. Actually, some ladies I've been following their podcast for a little while. We have Miss She Landry and Miss Layla E from the Refreshingly Problematic podcast. Ladies, how you
doing?
How y'all doing tonight?
Hey, we're good.
Man, we just been having fun before the podcast, before we hit the record button, and y'all are some funny ladies. I will have to tell you that. I've enjoyed the time that we spent together in this short time that we've known each other. Y'all funny as hell.
15 minutes, huh?
Whole 15 minutes.
It has been 15 minutes, a fun 15.
We like
Thank
family
you so
now.
much for having us. It is a joy. It is just for clarification, I'm She Landry. It's your girl, She Landry. Hashtag She Wears Heat. Hashtag She's in charge of the girls. Hashtag She's your daddy's favorite. Hashtag That's What She Said. And it's my girl,
Layla E, and hashtag Unlocking Good Vibes. Hashtag We About the Shits. So I am excited to be here. We are excited to be here with y'all.
Jay,
bow, 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 bow.
Yeah, we don't have our little Jamaican air horn.
That's what I need. I need that little horn, that little sound effect.
Got to get the soundboard. You know what I'm saying?
On the phone.
Get y'all subscriptions up so Jason can get his soundboard. He needs to get that.
Subscribe right now, y'all.
Follow Frank's OnlyFans so y'all can get that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know Frank got a
wow. Hey.
You know what I'm saying?
He got them hand
He flipping barbecue chicken.
Man, fixing this pot belly up. I make millions. Shit.
Man. Ooh-wee.
It'll happen stock for the next 10 years. I'll be the motherfucking meme for the next 10 years. But shit, I'll make millions in the meantime.
There you go. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Ain't no shit in that.
Live your best life, cuz. All I can tell you, live your best life. Live your best life.
Oh, and we have our mascot with us. They occasionally will come into, the frame.
Mascot for the podcast?
Yeah, we do got a mascot for the podcast because we got our subscriptions up. So you know what I'm saying? we were able to afford a mascot. So.
Speaking of the podcast, So like I said, I've been following you guys. I know you're on All Real Radio here in Houston, and you also stream across all platforms, right?
Yes, sir.
You don't do YouTube though, right?
We do not. Well, we have YouTube, but we haven't made it
Ish.
public yet. So we have plans for
We
YouTube.
have uploads.
We have-
So basically, call us Netflix because y'all will have to be binge watching our episodes
Oh,
visually.
really?
Yeah. So we have a rollout. We were gonna do YouTube, but I think we're gonna go more to the Patreon platform. So we kind of got some plans, for our videos. Because if you think it's fun to listen to us, to actually watch the videos is a whole nother element.
I bet.
And so when we started to go the YouTube direction, we decided that maybe Patreon. So we've got some after dark videos. We got some other specials. You know what I'm saying? Layla be wearing shirts like these, so we just can't put that on YouTube.
Oh my
You know what I'm
God.
saying? We really gotta,
Let me put my sage up, man, because you know they talking that nastiness. We don't talk that nastiness on this show. We ain't nasty.
Let me ask you this.
Really? Really, Frank? That's how you gonna do it?
That's all I gotta say.
All day.
The girls? Okay.
So
Yeah, YouTube video coming soon.
Hey y'all, sorry to interrupt, but I just had to remind y'all, since you are enjoying this episode, go ahead and subscribe to us. And if you're on Apple and Spotify, go ahead and follow us. We would sure appreciate it. Alright, and back to the episode. So, okay, about the podcast. So, do y'all actually record at the All Real studio, or is there such a thing, or how do you guys do it?
No, we don't. We don't record at All Real. We've done some live shows and collaborated at All Real, but we actually record in the comfort of usually my house, or we've recorded at a studio because we a lot of times pre-record our shows, and most of the time All Real Radio is a live situation. So yeah, we don't usually record at All Real Radio.
Are y'all from Houston?
We are born and raised.
Hey.
Yeah.
Southside still holding.
Yeah, we are Southside together.
Okay. So let's get into that. Let's get a little background. So you girls are
Women.
ladies.
Women.
There you go. That sounds better.
Ladies.
I'm about to get that Me Too movement on my ass. Ladies. So you're both from Houston?
Yes.
No.
Right. I like to say I shared my life in between time, Austin and Houston, which is a perfect example of my personality. I have an Austin personality and a Houston personality, and you want to figure what that is, stay tuned. But for the most part, yeah, I grew up Sharpstown area, Southwest, and Third Ward, went to TSU and all of that and stayed there for a while. So yeah, we Southside holding.
And what about you, She? You Southside too?
I'm South Seal for Lil, balling in the mix. So I am born and raised in Houston, Texas, but my parents moved on up to Missouri City because my parents had good jobs. So
Pearland.
Missouri City. And so I went to school and spent most of my time out in Missouri City. Neither of my parents are from Houston. They just had a Prairie View love story and then Houston jobs and came on out here. And so, yeah, so this is where I left for a little bit to go to college in Marshall, Texas. Went to Wiley College, a small HBCU in East Texas.
Really?
And as soon as I graduated, came right back to the H and been holding it down ever since. For some reason,
any of y'all pledge, or did your parents pledge?
Oh no, I can't buy friends now. I can't. I can't. If I want to join a gang, I mean, I could have did that for free.
For free, just jump in.
No,
big facts.
But no, shout out. Listen, I don't want the D9. Shout out to all the people in the sororities.
Greek
I did not join any sororities or fraternities. Or anything like
all
that.
fraternities?
Okay.
Oh yeah, I hope you didn't join.
Honestly, when I got to college, my parents were not in a fraternity or a sorority. So when I got to college, I didn't have sisters growing up. So to me, I was like, if I'm gonna be in something, I'm gonna be with the niggas. I want to be an alpha. I was like, I want to be with the niggas. Why I can't join the group with the niggas? I don't want to be with more women.
You want to integrate the alphas.
It was. Here's a fun fact. I was an alpha angel.
Okay.
And so the truth was, and all my friends call me a trans alpha.
What?
Trans alpha.
Yeah, like
Wow.
like but she's basically like an alpha. So yeah, I was like, I'm gonna be with the niggas. I ain't finna be with no females.
Been there stepping with them and everything, huh?
I would have been with the niggas. I was like, what am I gonna be with more women for? So, but no, long answer, no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So then I came back home, and we've been in Houston ever since.
Okay. So I think we kind of talked about this before we started, but the podcast you guys do, how long you been doing it, and why'd you even start it?
Oh man. Well, let's get to the good old days of, us just being random watching Insecure. And so really our love story begins with Issa Rae and Facebook Live.
Shout out to Issa Rae.
Shout out to Issa
And
Rae.
So Miss Sheila.
Pick us up, Issa. I'm sorry, go ahead.
She Landry would always get on her Facebook and do a live, and she would be talking about Insecure. She would actually, her and her husband would jump on occasionally and just talk about shows. Yeah. And one day I jumped on with her, and then that day never stopped. And people were actually requesting us to do more. Yep. So that weekly Facebook Live that we ended up actually doing, the pandemic hit, and we were like, we should just make this into a podcast. And it took us about a week to come out with something as long and as fabulous as Refreshingly Problematic. Yep. And ever since then, that's our roots into it. It's just Facebook Lives and people enjoying us.
And so
problem children.
Yeah. So it really grew from, we amassed a following on Facebook. And so we grew a Facebook page. Like we had a Facebook group that was called Refreshingly Problematic. And so we were like, which people just really came to watch our Facebook Lives weekly. And they were checking in for what we talked about shows. They just wanted to know our opinion about things. And from there, we were like, oh, this is basically a podcast. And so I was totally against the idea of doing a podcast. I didn't listen to podcasts before I did a podcast. I didn't like the concept of podcasts. It was not something I was into. I thought they were cheesy. I still don't listen to very many podcasts because I like to talk back. So I don't like the idea of just listening to people talk. Yeah. I was like, I got something to say. So I don't really just like podcasts like that. So people were just like, yo, we just want to hear y'all's thoughts on this. And so from that, it was like, okay, well, I guess we're starting a podcast. And so, yeah, it grew from there. We were just super shocked. Our Facebook group just amassed, overnight, 400 followers, 500 followers. Yeah. And it just kept going.
We actually had to put a cap on it for a little while because we were getting way too many people, and we didn't want the ops in there. Because you know how some groups are, all of a sudden someone is saying that this post is inappropriate. Mm-hmm. We were just like, we got, it has to be from someone that we know that's adding people in. Yeah. And not only that, but with the mix of me and She Landry, it's like you get a good mixture because we meet in the middle when it comes to pop culture, reality TV, movies. And then she's a sneakerhead, and then I'm the hip hop girl. She's actually the hip hop girl too, but we just blended all of our interests in together, and we just did what the people wanted. So if our problem children, that's what we call our listeners, if our problem children wanted something specifically they wanted to talk about, we'll go ahead and talk about it. And that's what got us the engagement that we needed for our podcast.
Do you guys normally have a good following on your podcast, or do they really try to follow you on Facebook or something like that?
Talk about that.
It has definitely been an adjustment to move the Facebook crowd to the podcast because they love the interaction of the Facebook Lives. Because with the Facebook Lives, we're talking about it immediately, and they're interacting because they get to be in the comments of the Facebook Live. And if they have a question, they're putting it in the live, we're answering it instantaneously. So they enjoy the interaction of the Facebook Live. So transitioning that conversation to the podcast. And then also Facebook Live is such a topical thing. Like we're talking about Issa Rae, that's like, we're talking about Insecure. That's like a this week thing. But when you're making content for a podcast, of course, you want those conversations to be not so dated. You want that material to be able to be like, people can come back and listen to this a year from now and it still be relevant. Absolutely. So transitioning the material definitely for our problem children, it was like, ooh, this is the same, but it's different. But what we decided was we did both, which was exhausting to keep up the Facebook and to do podcast episodes. But we ended up making, and I realized like we're at like 50, 60 some odd podcast episodes. And now our Facebook group, we paused it for a little bit. So in order for them to experience us, they have to go to the podcast. So now they're going back and discovering those episodes.
So we put them in timeout, so to speak.
And so now they it's like a treasure trove, and they're like, oh man, this is over here. Like, yeah, we've been telling y'all to go watch the podcast.
And craving for information. And so when you
right. And so it's paying off. So the fact that we went ahead and did the podcast and just stuck to it, even though we weren't having it at first, those listens have just grown and grown. And so it worked out for us.
It's a good tactic.
Yeah.
Really good.
So before putting it on pause, though, you were doing both the Facebook Lives and your podcast at the same time?
Oh, yes. So we would do Facebook Lives every Thursday, Tuesday nights or Thursday nights. And then like every other Sunday, we were going to the studio and we were knocking out 2 or 3 podcast episodes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. It was a hell of a schedule.
It sounds like it.
But we made it work. We definitely made it work for us because, first of all, I live basically out of town from her, because you know how it is.
She lives in hell,
literally far as
South
hell.
Dallas. She moved.
No. I live on the north side of Houston, but that's what we call
basically in hell.
And she lives on the opposite end of that, down south. So it was just like, wow, instead of doing this commute every week, we're going to get in the booth. We have our topics of what we're going to talk about, and we just get 3-4 of them done, and we immediately put them out because we don't want them to be dated, So it works very well.
No, I get the same thing. So I'm in Cypress, and whenever I go out, like the 3rd Ward, I meet somebody, they be like, where you live? Cypress. Oh, goddamn, you out of town. Like, fuck.
You are.
Like,
you're further out than me. I'm in Spring.
What, you live off of 249?
No, 290.
Oh, Jesus. Ooh. Oh, yes, Cypress, my bad. But why? You live in Prairie View.
I get basically.
You can always come home, brother. You can always brother. Are you married? Well, this you ain't even got no excuse. You got
well,
he can live anywhere he wants to, huh?
You must be hiding something. You hiding a baby mom. You with a wife.
No. So before, my daughter stayed here in town with me every now and then.
Okay.
But now she's in Dallas, so really I could do whatever.
Yeah, come on back, brother. Come on inside.
Come on back like the me.
The Beltway, the 16, you got 2 loops. Pick one and come on inside.
But there is something nice about living close to the city, but far away enough where you don't have all that congestion.
So
right.
Right. Me, dog.
But listen. But yeah, okay, that's another topic.
Listen to me, I ain't shit. Don't worry about me, y'all.
Maybe. But what I was gonna ask though is that I noticed on Layla's IG that you also have I do my research, baby.
Look, I'm like, oh, he do his research.
I do research.
In 1996, I found a picture of you in middle school. God. Okay.
Oh, even the mascot.
Hey, so let me ask you this real quick before I go there. So on your podcast, y'all don't do interviews, right? Y'all just do y'all two all the time, right?
Oh, we haven't gotten into interviews yet. We're open to them, but we just haven't. We
gotta find a way to do that.
Yeah.
So when you do interviews, you gotta do some research. You gotta okay.
Oh, yeah, I definitely have.
Right.
Yeah.
But on your IG, Layla, you had that you also work at a radio station or you do a show.
Yes.
You still do that?
Yes. Every Friday, 7 to 9, 953 Jams. I have the Layla E show, and it's fun for me in the aspect of it's not a podcast, which podcast is either 90 or 100% talking, and the radio show, it's literally 90% music. And because I'm such a music person, I like the fact that I have the freedom of being able to kind of give listeners a feel for what I'm vibing with that week. You know what I mean? I'll just play some off the wall stuff that you don't typically hear. And so that's the part of the show that I really enjoy.
You pick your own programming then?
For the most part, you know, if I wanted something that's off the rack, which is normally, I gotta see if, you know, the program director gonna go ahead and put that in there for me. Right. So I'm pretty sure they're annoyed with me because I'm the main one that's always requesting international stuff or some old school stuff. So it is what it is. They didn't have any Benny the Butcher, and I had to sit up there and tell them we need at least 4 or 5 Benny the Butchers up on
4
here.
or 5?
Yeah,
it's
better than West Side Gun. That's the one you don't like.
4 or 5?
No, I think it's Conway.
Conway. I don't like none.
Conway, yeah.
Also,
no, they both tight. Benny the Butcher and Conway are tight. You gotta listen to them.
I've heard.
We've done a podcast.
He said, I have.
We're not. This is.
And I'm good.
You'll have us back on another day about rap.
About music.
So what do you listen to, Sheep?
Not
on the radio though. Are you able to promote your show? Promote your podcast or no?
We did it first. We did one episode, like when we first
did a couple of episodes.
Yeah, I would go to the radio station with her. I was on a couple of episodes of her show when we first started promoting it, but I didn't want her to lose her job. And our podcast is terrible.
It's funny because I do. They actually just approved me to have guest co-hosts. So my friends. So instead of calling them, you know, guests, I call them guest co-hosts. So we just sit there, vibe out. I may have you on one day. You're in Houston, right? I'm sorry, Frank.
Sorry,
Frank.
Frank's not.
Good job.
Yeah, I have it where I bring people on and we just vibe out. There'll probably be a question of, you know, you're at a kickback, you know, a house party, and you're in it's your senior year and you have to go home, but what song is going to keep you there? You know what I mean? So then we all take a round table and play that one song that will keep us at a party, you know? So that's kind of what I've been trying to do. And I'm incorporating that bi-weekly because it gets really, really boring doing
by
a show
yourself.
By myself. Yeah. Yes.
No one's in there with you. No one's in the booth with you or on the other side of the glass.
Oh Lord.
Producer, huh?
Yeah. I was like, yeah.
The mascot.
Totally alone, but you know.
Well, you know what? So we have a topic, but before I get there, since we're on music, let me drop this real quick. So, Dru Hill or Jodeci?
Those are 2 different groups.
I was like, yeah. In the sense of what?
So,
I know.
I was watching something. I don't know what it was. It may have been the BET Awards or some shit. I don't know. Oh. And Dru Hill was on there, or Jodeci on there. They was both on there. And on IG, they was like, Dru Hill killed it. Dru Hill did this. And I'm like, yeah, they cool, but they ain't Jodeci. So,
but they're 2 different parts of the 90s, 2 different eras of R&B.
And Dru Hill's really like the early 2000s.
But it was 90s. So what? They was in the 90s, wasn't they? Dru Hill?
The 2000s.
Dru Hill wasn't 80s and 90s, nigga.
No, it wasn't not the 80s.
Come on,
but
man.
See, so at the same time frame, you had Jodeci and Boyz II Men, but they were totally different groups. I can't tell those 2 because you had the soft choir boys and the bad boys of R&B. So you couldn't have that comparison. But Dru Hill was the next closest thing as far as the group singing that kind of music that Jodeci sings. So that was
I
like.
would have preferred you saying Jodeci and 112, even though they're kind of 2 different
right
times,
because it's like the hip hop and R&B.
One was more love, one was more sex.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
With Dru Hill?
Oh, but if I prefer. Dang.
I don't know what I would prefer, bro.
I love Jodeci, but Dru Hill got some bangers though.
Some classics. That was the question. See?
I mean, and Dru Hill just had they had. You never looked at thongs the same. Well, I guess that's just
that's Cisco. Yeah.
Does that not count? Because then you think about so Casey and JoJo, like, do you pull out Casey and JoJo? Because without Jodeci, like if you're just talking Jodeci without the Casey and JoJo moments, then
I'm just talking about Forever My Lady, Diary Mad Band.
Right? Can we talk? I
the
mean, like
show, the after party, the hotel.
You gotta get on up.
Hey.
Hey.
Yeah, and then Dru Hill, whatever they had, you know.
One would be more of a, you know, midnight love sex playlist. You know what I'm saying? And then you got Dru Hill, where if you hear it at any point in time in the club or not, you're gonna be,
Oh man, somebody sleeping in my bed.
Oh.
Oh.
Both versions, slow
and
and
then
fast.
Beauty, and then everybody was a singer, like, because you just thought Cisco was the star, but then you
The
messed
big dude.
around and found out that Jazz big ass could sing. But and then Woody came out and he could sing. Nokio could not, but Nokio smashed Angie Martinez, and I don't think he gets enough credit for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, are you
Angie
serious?
Martinez, the guy got a baby by Nokio.
Oh wow!
I don't know.
The only child.
That's her only child is by Nokio.
Right.
I don't know if we get enough credit for that. So,
All right, I got one for y'all then.
So it's a draw to answer your question.
Draw. All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna go. He went on the R&B side. I'm gonna go on the rap side. And I'm gonna bring some controversy. Meg Thee Stallion or Erica Banks.
Or who?
Erica Banks is a junior to Megan Thee Stallion.
I was like, that's not even.
I mean, they both still came up like maybe
that's
about
not
a
even
year
a fair
apart from each
fight.
other.
That's really not a fair fight.
That's not.
Now, if we're going just based off of her first EP,
right?
Megan, when she was on 1501, if you want to talk about the beginning stages of Erica Banks and Megan Thee Stallion, I think that's more of a fair conversation.
Okay.
And if that's the case, I still give it to Megan.
I think they neck and neck because I think they both got a good little. I think
they both got a flow to them. They're both beautiful women, but they also just got a flow to them. When we talking about rap, they got a nice flow. Let me ask you then.
I leave both of them on the table and take Ken the Man. That's the truth. Because that's the real dark horse that nobody's looking at. Ken the Man, he was just a double XL freshman. She was on a double XL freshman cover
for this year.
Yes, body smoking marijuana. I get that shit from mama.
So
a real one.
We had an episode recently with a guy, and he swears that Doja Cat is the best thing going right now for women rappers.
Is he black?
Yeah.
He hates black women. And next. So
I actually agree on the pop market, but when we're talking about solely hip hop, I don't see Doja being.
He says she can flow. I don't know.
I don't think she's a rapper. I haven't heard anything about her rapping.
He can rap, but it's not hip hop type rap. It's just anybody can talk really fast on the beat.
She rap her hair? What are y'all talking rap? What? Presents? What kind of rapping are we doing?
I don't know. I don't listen to her, but I've heard.
I can't even acknowledge that. Next.
Oh, okay.
I don't think we've solidly answered any of their questions.
I'm sorry.
This is an example of being refreshing and problematic.
Welcome.
Okay, then. Let's get to the topic on the table. The topic was, when I first hit you guys up, was I saw Will Smith's IG where he was apologizing. I think it was his first time talking since the epic incident on the Oscars, right?
I apologize.
And he went to timeout. Nobody heard from him. Nobody played his music. Nobody did anything.
What?
Well, we weren't playing his music.
This is first summer I ain't heard.
I love his shit. Don't get me wrong. I love his old school shit, but we ain't playing it for him.
I ain't hear summertime now once at the barbecue.
You know what? I haven't heard that at all this year. And
Exactly.
you hear that shit all.
That's my point.
But I need a new.
We've gone all summer, and you heard summertime once.
We ain't heard that now one time this summer.
A whole summer.
I tried to cancel my boy.
So back to him, in my opinion, egregiously slapping Chris Rock on the Oscars let me back it up then. So what's your opinion on the whole slap and how that went down?
Layla, what's your opinion?
I felt like it was unnecessary. I felt like it looked like he was okay with the joke until his woman decided to look at him. And I think it disgusts me on a whole nother level because I feel like Jada is very toxic on, that whole different spectrum on that. But you're making an apology a day too late. And then you're trying to pull from what everyone else has been saying and trying to make it seem like Jada isn't the issue.
Right.
When that's the issue.
Jada's toxic. How and why do you feel like she's toxic?
Her red table talks. There's things that she discusses on there that should never come out. You know, there's just things that you hold in your union, in your marriage, or in your relationship that not everybody needs to know. You already stupidly got caught up with August Alsina, and then you had this man fighting back tears on your show trying to call you out. And the truth of the matter is, in the industry, we all know they have an open relationship. We've been knowing that since we were in grade school. So it's just that he hasn't gotten caught. And so he's embarrassed and mad that, man, you let this little dude get you caught up.
But do you think that she's like the alpha in a relationship to where?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But I also, in Jada's defense, feel like she feels like she's in a prison because he said, she said, he has said numerous times that he does not believe in divorce. And that woman has never wanted to get married. And she said on her Red Table Talk that she was disgusted up on the wedding day, crying because she didn't want to do it. First of all, don't do it. But I think that he has this hold, and because we love him and he's the funny guy, we don't want to put anything on him, but he's also toxic in the relationship. They're toxic together. Yeah. So I just think as an audience looking in, we just need to understand that it's not just one person's fault.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay. So, and they've been together for a long ass time too. I don't know how long, but it's been a long ass time. So
with Sheree. What's her name?
Sheree, Zampino.
So with that said, then with the toxic relationship, and so can he redeem himself? Is there redemption for Will Smith right now?
Absolutely.
Sure. Why not? I mean, it'll be fine. Will Smith got money.
Everybody love a comeback story.
I was like, yeah, people want to see Will Smith win. Like, I don't think this is the end of Will Smith. I mean,
not at all.
Yeah, like he'll be fine.
And plus, you got to remember that narrative. People are mad at the wife more so than him.
Yeah,
so he's winning either way.
Yeah, people feel sorry for Will Smith and everything. Like, I think people already with him doing the apology were like, oh my God, Will Smith, he apologized. He's good in my book. Which to me, I thought his apology was inappropriate. I thought it was too soon for him to do it. I thought the fact that he hadn't talked to Chris, I was about to say Chris Brown, Chris Rock, and the fact that he still made it a public apology after he hadn't talked to Chris Rock. He said Chris Rock, he had reached out, but Chris Rock wasn't ready to talk to him.
Right.
So the fact that he got to speak publicly before Chris Rock was ready to speak about it, to me, I was like, I really feel like you out of place. Like,
no, see, I just feel like if I would have slapped one of my homeboys, I would have been like, let me go over here and holler at him and tell him how wrong I was. Let me do this personal apology first. And then I go and do a national apology with his permission. Like, dog, you know what? I did this shit online, or I did this shit for the world to see. So let me go on here and say something. But before I even say something to the world, I want to say something to you first. And I sincerely apologize if that's my friend. That's my home.
But if Chris Rock wasn't ready to have that conversation, then to me, for him to go, oh, well, even though Chris Rock is not ready to have that talk, I'm gonna still step past him and then talk publicly to the world. It's like, no, you need to handle that with Chris Rock. And if he's not ready to talk about it with you, then still sit in the corner and wait it out. But I think Chris Rock Will Smith was ready to publicly move on because he was tired of waiting in the corner.
But see, he messed up because his opportunity was when he apologized to everybody but Chris Rock while accepting his award. That was his opportunity.
But you know what? Maybe he wasn't sorry at that time.
He wasn't sorry.
He wasn't sorry for slapping the shit because he's like, I'm gonna get some hell when I go home right now. Whether I slap the shit out of this man or not, I'm gonna get some hell because I laughed at this joke.
I mean, there's other stuff that we don't know. Like, there's obviously been a bad history between Chris Rock and Jada, an annoyance. And Will Smith is a lovable, likable guy, probably gets along with everybody. But I guess when you're in a marriage, if he got beef with somebody, you got beef with him, right?
Sometimes I always talk about that, like, because I tell my husband not to do that because I know I'm a polarizing person. But my husband feels that way. He'd be like, if people don't like you, if they don't fuck with you, I don't fuck with them. I'm like, don't do that because you're not gonna fuck with a lot of people, bro. Because I am trash. Like, don't
like nobody.
Yeah, I was like, you're gonna make an enemy of a lot of people, so don't do that. Like, but so I try not to do that to my husband. But I mean, because I know the kind of person that I am. But
you don't want your husband to think like you. I mean, and not as far as that. As far
I
as
don't want to. I really don't want to have to put him in that position because I know the type of person I am. Like people are going to dislike me, like because I either reflect or repel. Like either you with me or you not. I am polarizing. Like so, I know a lot of people just not gonna rock with me. And my husband is a great dude. People, everybody, he has never met a person who did not like him. If you don't like my husband, you the devil. It's just
no, that's fact.
He's just a great person. So I'd be like, I don't want people to dislike you because of me. And he'd be like, nah, if people don't mess with you, they don't mess with me. I'll be like, that's a dope type of loyalty to have. But the reality of that to me is like, that's messed up. I would never.
He is loyal. He got your back, like through.
I love it. And you know what I'm saying? But I, as a wife, like, so I never would, I mean, I honor it. I wouldn't do, but I also try not to put my husband in situations because I know he is so loyal. I also try to be mindful and not do weird shit because I know my husband is loyal and I know that he will ride for me. So that's a whole nother conversation about the weirdness of Jada and the predicaments that wives put their husbands in.
Yeah.
That they should not fucking do.
Right.
Like,
I mean, what about you, Jason? I mean, how are you looking at the whole situation?
So I looked at it from a standpoint of he's in a bad situation because I believe his wife put him in a bad way, like you said, with the Red Talk shit and disclosure. I never seen any Red Talk episode. I just haven't had the desire to watch it. But I know they discussed some shit that's like really personal. And I know she had him on there, like you said, damn near crying about their issue.
Entanglements.
Entanglement. A couple times. And I felt he was emasculated for the world to see. And I felt a wife shouldn't put her husband through that kind of shit. So I think he's had some pent up frustration, some issues between them, and for whatever reason he decided at that moment, all right, I'm gonna show you right now. This nigga here, watch this shit. I'm about to go smack little ass Chris on the stage right now for you. And I think it was a bad move. I think it was a bad look. But again, he's in a bad way, in a bad situation. And I also think moving forward, I need to see him and Chris together on camera, on IG, on something, talk this shit out. If you want a public apology, you want a public acknowledgement, and me to say, okay, y'all good, get that nigga on stage, get somewhere, and y'all talk it out.
Why? Because why do you need to see that?
I was like, but that's the only way they're gonna talk it out. Like Chris he'll have to talk it out with Jada. Like,
yeah. No, let me say it again, Frank. So I don't need to see it. They should have that conversation, off camera or whatever. But he made it public with his apology. So if we're going public with shit, let's go public with it. Let's get Chris on here. Let's both go public with it. If you went public with your shit, so you slap me, and then you decide
I slapped the shit out of you.
Yeah, like and
out, made you laugh. I got a point.
1 point for Gryffindor.
So bitch ass nigga. I'm sorry I edit that shit out.
I'm the shit out of you.
So yeah, and then he woke up. But if you thought about slapping me, and then you decided I'm gonna go in front of everybody but this nigga and make this public apology so I can move on, nigga, you ain't moving on yet. We ain't handled our shit yet. We still got issue. We got beef.
Right.
But that's what I'm saying.
Slap me on TV, nigga. What the hell is that about?
Well, that's what I'm saying. When I slap the shit out of you,
in his mind,
I'm gonna go
again.
I'm gonna go and talk to you I'm gonna fly down to Houston and be like, hey dog, I was wrong. And then we're gonna get on the podcast and I'll say, hey, everybody, even though I slapped the shit out of Jason, made him slobber and everything, I'm sorry. And so that's what we would do.
That's what I just said, nigga. Brothers. Get on the podcast, get on something live and tell that's what.
But at the same time, I do want to say this, and I'm not like because it's gonna be some women watching this, hopefully, and I'm just not gonna get caught. I'm not gonna get caught on no episode doing this. So I'm gonna say this. At the end of the day, Will Smith, I don't care who Jada is and how toxic she is, Will Smith had to stand in his own shit. And he stood up and he made, I don't care what Jada made him do and how toxic she is and how much he don't believe in divorce. Divorce is not the fucking tooth fairy. If he did not want to be with Jada, he could have chose to walk away many times. Niggas can act like they don't believe in divorce. Nigga, you decided to stay with her. She fucked out August Alsina and you still decided to stay with her. She was on Red Table Talk and you still decided to stay with her. You picked her. That was your girl. So you picked her. You decided to stick beside her. So you stood up. He stood up on his own will, whatever. Jada did not say nothing to him. We all saw the tape and the disappointment in her face, whatever it was. She didn't say, go get that nigga. She did not say none of that. She ain't speak no word. She ain't slide that nigga a note. He stood up on his own and walked up there and slapped Chris Rock. That was what he decided to do.
Do that outcome.
And so whatever that, so I'm not finna sit here and say that Jada was in his mind. Will Smith decided to do that shit on his own. And it's not whatever he felt. I'm not gonna blame that on Jada or whatever he felt like he was trying to prove. That's his own shortcomings as a man. And at some point, Will just gotta decide to be a man. And whatever that looks like for him in his life. And if Jada got that kind of hold on his mind where he is like, I'll slap a nigga. Like, it's like, if a bitch got you that gone, then that's on you, brother. If she got you out of character like that,
it can happen.
So what do you all? Yeah, it's true. So with that being said, though, what would you all accept in a relationship? What would be your deal breakers in a relationship?
What do you mean my deal breakers? Like,
so that would make
let's say basically what would you put up with? What would you put up with, and what would you be like? You know what? I'm out. Both of y'all.
It could be a long list.
I know, like, don't put your hands on me. Like, I mean, it feels so abstract. There's so many deal breakers, you know, and deal breakers change throughout the years. Like, how many years are we in the game? Because I just had a conversation about this with my husband a while ago. Because we was like, because if you know, we're 25 years in the game. I saw this on Black Love, and the chick was like, bro, if we 25, 30 years in the game, and like you cheat on me, like what kind of cheating was it? Because I mean, like I'm gonna uproot my whole family because you had like one slip up, like daddy stepped out one, right? Daddy
was it just at the bar?
You know what I'm saying? Daddy went to the
were y'all talking to each other on a house phone? What's
right,
going on?
and now we gotta move out and change our whole life, like because you got your dick wet. Like I can't do.
How old is this woman? I mean, come on, is she 20 years younger, or is she the same age as me? I can go for her ass.
We might have to just figure something out. We might just have to fight for a couple years. You sleep on the couch, and you know we just have to figure it out. So it depends. Layla, do you have some deal breakers? You still in the streets, so you know
still in the streets.
Not on the streets.
My friend is not in the streets, guys.
Her deal breaker is no lying. Wasn't it no lying?
Yeah,
I know. We just had a deal breaker episode, didn't we?
I know. I heard it.
Okay.
But yeah,
fucking narwhal over here. What's the nigga name?
He knows everything. So I saw in the video that you guys recorded in 1902.
Y'all from 5th grade, ass.
That's what I get for fucking being professional.
You know what? We didn't know what we were getting.
You keep this train on the track, okay?
Look,
I appreciate you, bud.
You are super because we were in and out about doing anybody's podcast anymore.
You know,
but
there's a lot of Franks in the world. There are very few Jasons. Okay, there's a lot of Franks.
Fuck y'all, goddamn.
You're great too, Frank.
Oh God, but no.
If I would have been in control, yeah, it wouldn't have been a second visit. But if with Jason in control, you know, we got a second visit coming.
Yeah, nigga, we might come back monthly. You never know. This is
start making merch.
Honestly,
together.
Look, this is a trap though. Next time we come back, that nigga Jason gonna be in a wife beater sipping Hennessy. Yeah, we just did that to lure you bitches in.
You're right. He got a toothpick in his mouth.
The cigarette hanging in my mouth. What you bitches want?
That boy gonna be smoking a black and mild still.
Right.
gonna be Shannon Sharp.
Yeah.
Nigga gonna have a do-rag on.
What you bitches doing?
Gonna start talking about what you said the last podcast.
Yeah.
Don't match what you got now.
Hey, hoes.
Oh,
What y'all
okay.
hoes
You know,
doing?
you know what, man? I'm tired of these motherfucking bitches down here.
Just
Motherfuckers
like
doing
that,
all
right?
bullshit. Ain't that
I
right,
like
though?
That's
And
why I
then,
love Cypress. These bitches don't know what they want,
Right.
motherfuckers.
and then I'm gonna have to be the one like this with the hat
Oh,
turned
not
back
the
around and shit.
hat.
Oh.
You know, because
Ah.
now, Jason, we don't need to do that.
That boy gonna be in here as Franklin. Jason, you have to respect women, okay?
I lost control. I lost
Oh,
control.
no, we'll bring
Deal-
it back.
deal
Deal
breakers.
breakers. My deal breaker for sure is like absolute deceit. I don't think anyone likes to be deceived, but for me, an absolute deceit is like you completely did a 180, right? Because
Yes.
I was about to say 360. You did a 180 on me. So for throughout the years, I thought you were this person, and then you became this person.
Yeah.
So I am going to have to respectfully leave. Stealing, you know, I don't know how a lot of marriages happen, but you know, a lot of them combine all their finances together. Oh, you got a mascot. Hey, a well-behaved one.
Look at that. So cute.
Years older. But yeah, I think deceit of any kind for sure is a good means to just terminate the relationship if there's no reasonable explanation behind it.
So what if he said, okay, deceit? You said deceit.
Oh shit.
Here
What
go,
if he
here go
said-
that, hit that what if shit. See,
Yeah. What if he said,
but
maybe I'll be home at 5:00. But
conditions.
okay, he normally gets off at 4:30, and he's like, maybe I get off at 5:00, and then come to find out that day he got off at 2. Didn't tell you, but he was there. He was back home at 5:00. Is that deceit?
Lies.
That's a lie. That's like a flat out lie.
Mhm.
There would have to be some.
I saw you was sucking your teeth before you answered that question. You was like, oh shit, I done brought up some memories. Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
No, I just don't like liars. I'm really big into, I'm so cool and I'm so laid back that there's what reason to lie to me?
Mhm.
Like I literally am overly understanding. That has actually damaged me throughout my life because I'm always giving people chances. I'm always, oh no, it's okay. And so like the fact that you feel that you gotta lie to me. Now, if it's something like that, a couple of hours early, okay, what's your reasoning behind it?
Mhm.
Now
That's
that
so
is where
frustrating.
whatever you answer becomes the lie that becomes deceit.
Right.
Because if you actually went to go hang out with a female friend that I don't like because I feel like she wants you, then that's a problem.
Why we
Or if
gotta
you're going
lie?
out, hanging out with your guys, or you just wanted to do early happy hour, I don't got a problem with that. Just don't, what's the point in lying?
What's the point in lying? Why do we have to lie?
I agree, but I didn't learn that in my 20s. I was the lying. But once I got 30 and above, and especially now,
You got it now?
I ain't lying about a motherfucking thing. If you can love me or hate me, like me or dislike me, I'm gonna be me, and it is what it is. I mean,
Okay.
I just think that's such a poor, like, this weird thing to do. Like, what's gonna happen? You gonna get a whooping? Like, why does somebody got to lie? Like, you gonna get in trouble? Like,
It's a
just
bad character flaw.
it
It's
is
a
such
bad character
weird
flaw.
character flaw. Like, why are you lying?
Yeah, you just,
Like, you about somebody about to spank you? Like, I get off at 2. I'll get off at 5. You really got off at 2. Like, what the fuck? Like, why?
we know cats that are still in their 40s and some of them early 50s that are still lying.
That's just
Like,
a
why?
weird, like, that frustrates. That'd be the stuff I'd be thankful I'd be out the game.
Mhm.
Cause I'd choke a nigga. Like, that's just dumb.
Okay, I got one more question. Since I'm the professional one,
Yeah, there you go. Come on.
I know y'all had an episode about Kevin Samuels, well, right?
Rest in
Yep.
piss. Boy,
Rest in piss.
Oh no.
don't miss
So-
it.
So let me ask you this: is Melanie King the female version of Kevin Samuels?
I don't know who
that?
the fuck that is.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
She's a YouTuber.
Got a video.
She's a YouTuber, and
would've said
she goes hard on women. She's a dating pop, whatever, YouTuber, whatever.
Oh.
And she takes call-ins and all kind of shit too, but she goes hard on women. not as hard as Kevin did, but she goes hard on women. And it's like from a woman's point of view, versus a man who's like he get trashed for doing it, but
is she the type that tells women they need to submit or something like that?
Is she married?
You know what? I don't know if she's married or not, but it's Mel the King. She got YouTube. She don't have a podcast, but she has a YouTuber, and she just she gives dating advice to men and women. But a lot of times she tell a woman, "You're doing this wrong. You're doing this, and this, and it's just kind of."
What are you talking about?
I probably have seen her clips because I'm sure they've gone viral at some point.
She be on IG and people use her shit to,
I'm sure.
repost.
I'm sure I've seen it. I'm sure I can, we can do this. I'll answer your question in this way because they're all the same. All these people are the same. And I had a conversation about this with my husband, this whole phenomenon. And now that Kevin Samuels has died, he has opened the floodgates for all of these people who are like, I can be the next Kevin Samuels. I'm gonna give out all this dating advice.
Or the anti-Kevin Samuels.
Right, or whatever the case, all of this advice. Here's the thing, all of it, for lack of a better word, is irrelevant because none of it, like, it doesn't matter. Like, no disrespect, dating advice is so subjective because you could learn to cook and clean your ass off, and you could marry a dude who loves to eat out. And then what does it matter if you know how to cook your ass off? Like, why does it matter? Like, the nigga does not want to eat home cooked meals, or he could just not. My mom is a great cook, right? I love my mama's cooking. She got married recently. Her new husband does not like her cooking. Like, my stepdad does not like my mom's food. He is like notoriously like, I just don't like the way you cook. It's not going to end their marriage, but he does not prefer her cooking. He's from San Antonio. His taste buds are bland. He's a weird Black person. So he's not used to seasoning. He don't like my mama's food. And so it's like, oh, you learned a skill set all these years that is actually irrelevant in your marriage. Like, so all of that is like, it's silly to me. And I feel like there was one clip I saw that was off the chain. It was this dude sitting around with all these young ass girls, and they intentionally do that. They get a bunch of young ass girls, and I use girls appropriately because they really are not old enough and have not had enough experience to be considered women. I have underwear older than them, and they say stuff, and it's like, these girls are not old enough to check you, niggas. And this girl was like, I don't want to have kids. He was like, y'all don't want to have kids. She was like, no, I don't want to have kids. I'm going to be a doctor. She's like, I don't want to have children. And he was like, that's stupid. And my grandmother just had her 95th birthday, and she was surrounded by her grandchildren, and she was in a room full of 100 people, and all these people came from her. And do you know what she was looking at? And he was like a British dude. Yeah. No one was talking about all the things that she had accomplished. They were talking about all these lives that were here because of her. And I was like, and he's like, and you think people are going to care about the accolades and the things that you've done? And I was like, first the fuck off. I was like, nobody asked your grandma, because she could have been looking around like, damn, fuck all of y'all. I wish I would have went to Paris. I wish I would have traveled more. I'm 98 looking at all of y'all. I wish I would have went skiing instead of having 10 and 15 babies.
Hey y'all, sorry to interrupt, but I just had to remind y'all, since you are enjoying this episode, go ahead and subscribe to us. And if you're on Apple and Spotify, go ahead and follow us. We would sure appreciate it. Alright, back to the episode.
Second off, your grandma's 98. Let's not act like women had a bunch of options. Like, they didn't have a lot of options back then. Your grandma was having all them fucking kids because she couldn't open a bank account. So like, let's stop acting like your grandma had a lot of choices. And then second, like, it's like, and then if that chick want to be a doctor, like, you acting like she said she wanted to be a video vixen for the rest of her life. That's a very noble fucking profession. She could very well be 98 and learn how to cure cancer, and people will be surrounding her and be like, you saved our life. You saved my son's life. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, women are allowed to do whatever they want to do. Like, they don't have to.
Let me ask this. What do you think as far as a relationship for a successful relationship? What do you think the compatibility level needs to be? 50, 60, 70%?
don't know if I could really put a solid number on it.
Yeah.
But if I just had to throw one for the sake of, our collab, I would say you would at least have to be compatible. I would think at least 75, 70%. High. Like you don't have to have all of the same interests, but you have to have some interests together. There's certain things that y'all enjoy doing just as a unit, and there's certain things that y'all like to do together with your outside friends. You know what I mean? Like everything doesn't have to be together, even though damn near every relationship I've had, all of our interests were together at some point in time. But you need to be compatible for sure. You need to be sexually compatible at some point. Somebody may like morning sex and the other one doesn't like doing anything, dealing with morning breath or morning anything. Where's the common ground? But more importantly, with being compatible is to be able to have clear communication on how things can work out, like compromising. So, I mean, if you just throw all the C's into the relationship, literally, you can have a healthy, successful relationship on your terms based off of the level of you two, not everybody else.
Yeah. I think like when you talk about the percentage of compatibility, I was like, I guess I wanted a little bit more clarity because I'm like, I think you have to be compatible. I don't know how much or how little you have to be compatible. You have to be compatible. I think that's just the answer. And you have to be, but the most important thing. So I'm obsessed with like dating shows on Netflix. They have Indian Matchmaker.
Oh my God.
If you've never seen Indian Matchmaker, everybody should watch it.
Do they speak English? I mean, do I gotta watch the subtitles? Because I saw that.
They speak English. A lot of it is based in America. But the number one thing I learned from Indian Matchmaker, I don't care how compatible a couple is, the number one thing for a relationship to work, y'all just got to be attracted to each other. I don't care if on paper, this could be the best person in the world for you. Everything could line up. If y'all are not physically attracted to each other, it's not going to work. Because there are people on India, you just got to like the person. You have to like the person you're looking at.
My daughter has me on something that on Netflix, one of them old Married at First Sight. It's like they're dating through a partition or something. They can't see each other.
Love is Blind. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. And she got me into that. So now I'm just watching that. I'm like excited for the next damn season on that damn show.
Yeah. And all those shows work at it's the same thing no matter what, because there'll be people, they'll be talking and everything could be, it's like you sharing your soul with this person. But if they are not physically attracted, that's the same thing with Married at First Sight. Everything on paper, great example. Everything on paper, y'all, it all lines up. But if you are not physically attracted to that person, it is not gonna work. It just is not.
She drying up like the Sahara Desert, and we looking like Willy Wonka worms.
And nobody's gonna be able to get past it, and they're not gonna give it a chance. I wish people would. I was like, I wish you would just give yourself a little bit of time. It's like, but if people are not physically attracted, first off, like that first chance, then it's just not gonna work.
Right.
No. So let me say, I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. It is all I was hoping it would be. It's been a great hour. So I'm gonna close this out with our last segment is Hey Young World.
Hey Young World.
World is yours. Mm-hmm. So if you can go back to your 20-year-old self and give them any kind of advice, what would it be? Or
invest in Bitcoin.
It'll be huge.
Discover work at Google. Layla, you go first. 20-year-old me. Good Lord.
I would tell myself to trust my intuition the first time and believe who people are the first time they show you. I think that has done a lot of harm for me, to give everyone the benefit of the doubt in my life and friendships, relationships, work. And also just being more confident within my choices, like not second guess, yourself. Just keep going. If you have a big dream, just because 3-4 people told you that sounds crazy, doesn't mean you have to agree and give up. Just keep going for it. And the third thing I would tell 20-year-old Layla is invest. Find different ways to invest. Yeah. And most importantly, invest in yourself, but learn about investments. I would have for sure been super successful right now, because literally all in no procrastination, because my biggest problem is procrastination. So I know if 20-year-old Layla knew that then,
Yeah.
I would have been balling right now in different sectors. Not balling in the sense of like money. I would be making money, but being super successful in different sectors in life. That includes social media. That includes movies, writing. I would have gotten into writing. So those are the 4 things I would tell 20-year-old Layla.
Good stuff. Yeah, mine's real superficial, but it would have been smart. I would tell 20-year-old she to buy all the Nike Dunks that are coming out. Buy every last pair. They're only $100. They're gonna make you so much money. And also buy every concert t-shirt that you can get your hands on. Go to every thrift store and buy every concert t-shirt that you find. They're gonna be every rap t-shirt, rummage every friend's closet for every rap t-shirt that they do not want. They're gonna be worth so much money in 10 years.
eBay, hello, eBay.
eBay was big when we were 20.
Money.
Yeah.
And stop eating carbs now. Just stop eating carbs now.
Stop eating carbs.
Stop eating carbs now. Just let go of them, sis. Don't worry.
Yeah.
It's fine. That's what I tell myself.
That's a tough.
Everything else, everything I'm not, made me everything I am, baby. So you know what I'm saying? Just enjoy the ride, baby girl.
Hey.
I met my husband at 23, so you know what I'm saying? I didn't make very many mistakes. You know.
Hey.
Hey.
What about y'all?
If I had to tell myself something, it would be to not doubt yourself, to be more confident in you, accept who you are, and not worry about what others think about you. To not give up on things so easily and push through and finish some things you started. Because there are a lot of stuff and I just quit. Like, I'm doing this shit. So to see things through, push through, and to listen to folks. Because when you're young, you're like, yeah, I got it, dog. I figured it out. So, yeah.
Oh, and fuck that. I tell myself, bitch, Instagram is gonna be big. I will be one of the first influencers. Yes, YouTube. Let's go. YouTube, you, me, then Soldier Boy, then me. I'll be
Soldier Boy.
Soldier Boy invented YouTube, but then I'll be right behind him.
That's right.
What about you, Frank?
Like Layla, though, I don't want to. I would say I need to catch a liar, spot a liar. Did I do shit like this?
I said flip the chicken. That
Flip
would be
chicken.
flip
the chicken.
in 10 minutes.
Oh, that's funny. You fuck y'all. No, I'm like Layla, man. I would want to try to spot a liar sooner. At that 20-year-old Reno, I would tell him, boy, that girl is lying like a motherfucker. You better don't do it. Don't do it. Just be able to spot a liar. Got into real estate when I wanted to. Shit, I wanted to get in it when we were in college, dog. So I would have gotten it at that time instead of working in corporate America. Just did the investing that I'm doing now. As far as anything else, I wouldn't want to change the 2 ex-wives that I had, because if I did that, I wouldn't have my kids. Yeah, 2X.
I think there's gonna be a second show.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to change that.
Interview y'all next. I got some questions.
Yeah.
Got some time today.
Franklin
Right.
was
Right.
2 times.
Right.
Wait a minute.
Frank doing. Yeah.
Let's say 2 times. 3rd time's a charm.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah, no.
Use a lie. Ain't no 3 times. It's just gonna be just.
You asking about Layla, bro? It's all right, Frank. It ain't for you. It ain't for you. That's not your life. That's not your forte.
This ain't your life, player. This ain't your life. This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want.
You've already proven that that's not even your
problems. That ain't in my lane. I'm in the far left. She in the far right. I understand.
Yeah,
I understand.
You better off the leash. You don't need to be. Don't worry.
And I don't want no more kids. So yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm like far left, far right.
How many kids do you have, Frank?
I got 3.
Oh. Ooh, I thought you was coming with a disrespectful number.
Hell no. I mean, I ain't never had to call Maury to see.
I thought you was about to give us some old Kiki Wyatt numbers. I say Franklin. That day Frank.
Not Kiki.
No.
Was she on a dozen now, literally?
Ooh, shit.
Oh, and once again, y'all, you've been on with the Kings Can Move On podcast. We've had the ladies from Racially Problematic podcast. It's been a blast. Layla E, She Landry, Big Frank.
What?
Little J. Peace out, y'all. Kings Can Move On.
Bye, guys.